When Jesus was resurrected, the shadow passed. No longer should we ever live in fear. No longer should we live in anxiety. No longer do we have to live in anything that holds us back, because he's bringing peace. And his peace wasn't brought with a sword. It was brought with a cross. The weapon of the Jesus kingdom is the cross. It's our self-sacrificial death. We learn to sacrifice like Jesus. And he brings peace over death. He brings peace over disease. He brings all this peace. And that's his presence. And so just like in The Lord of the Rings, the shadow has passed. But if you know the story, if you've ever read the book, there's a couple of chapters after. And in the movies, it goes on, just, them saying goodbye. In the books, there's actually another chapter called The Scouring of the Shire. And after Frodo and Sam and Merry and Pippin say goodbye to Aragorn, Aragorn gets crowned king. He's the ruler of Gondor, this great king. They make their way back to the Shire, their home, their lovely little home. When they get back, they realize the Shire isn't how they left it. People have taken over. There's dark wizards in power. It's being ruined. And as they're going back, they say, don't you guys get it? Like they go up to the bad guys. Don't you get it? The king is in power. He's in Gondor, and he's coming. He's coming to rule this place. And they say, yeah, but he's not here yet. And so the hobbits come back, and the rest of the book of Lord of the Rings is about how they're going back to fix the Shire because evil men are there, and they've got to get there and kick them out. And this is exactly the situation we're in now. Jesus has been resurrected, and his kingdom has started, but he hasn't fully taken power yet. And we're like little hobbits, being all merry and happy and running around as best we can. But here's what we do. We go to every town, to every city, to every place, and we announce the king is in power. I want to tell you, there is a king in power. And if you've ever wondered around CSF why we do some of the things we do, why we have a water balloon fight, why we have 80s party like this Saturday, why we're going to do, flapjacks, I mean, good grief, we serve enough pancakes around here, I'm sick of them. Why we do some of the things we do all the time, if you ever wonder about that, it's because of this. It's because we think the king is in power, and we want to bring joy. We want to bring his kingdom to this earth as it is in heaven, because that's what he calls us to do. Go everywhere, go to every city, and tell them the king is in power. And why I was so much wanted to talk to you guys about this tonight is because you sit in college, and before you lies a multitude of choices. I mean, just the question of like, what are you going to eat for breakfast could be like the butterfly effect that affects who you're going to marry in the next 40 years. I mean, it is just remarkable the amount of choices you guys have before you in your lives. You've got choices about, who you're going to marry, or at least who you're going to date. You got choices about what you're going to eat. You got choices about what major you're going to have. And if there's ever a question I hear consistently from college students, it's this. It's, what am I supposed to do with my life? What in the world does God want me to do with my life? And I've got the answer for you. It's right here. God wants this more than anything else. This is his will, his plan, his direction for your life. To live as an ambassador. That is your primary calling. That is your primary vocation. For the next 40, 50, 60, 70 years of your life, to announce the king is in power, and to show it with your deeds, to show it in the way you overcome disease, death, poverty, to show it in the ways that you sacrificially love and serve others, and to show it by offering forgiveness of sins to other people. That is your primary vocation. That is the central calling of your life. If you get that right, God will absolutely be pleased with your life. It says this, the end of Psalm 2, therefore you kings, be wise. Be warned, you rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry and you be destroyed in your way. We live in the middle of two kingdoms. The Jesus kingdom has started. The satanic kingdom has not yet been completed. And it is our job for the rest of our lives to announce his kingdom is coming. The king is here.